So, we got answers. Well, we got some answers from our offense coordinator, Brian Callahan. Now, sadly, it was not about the situation of how bad our offense looked on Sunday and how the play calls looked like, they came out of a Dora the Explorer comic book, right? No, it wasn't that actually. It was the fact that Myles Garrett, there's a viral video going around about what he did to us. And after that, Brian Callahan, offense coordinator, he needed to speak up. So here's pretty much what happened. Myles Garrett was lining up at the linebacker position. There's not many times throughout his career he has done this. Mainly because he's an edge rusher. So mainly he either lines up on the right side, the left side, and he's an edge rusher, and that's pretty much that. But on Sunday, they lined him up everywhere. They lined him up left, they lined him up right, and they lined him up, of course, at linebacker, which again just throws off everything because you go into this game and think, okay, Myles Garrett's going to be on the right-hand side, Zarius Smith's probably on the left-hand side, they have Jeremiah, who's a linebacker, who could be a linebacker or blitzer, and you go through this whole entire week of planning all of these things, right? All of these concepts, all these things based on tape and knowing this, knowing Myles Garrett, knowing all these guys. And then you go into the game, and it wasn't too much that, it wasn't too many times they did this, but it definitely impacted us greatly on offense, and it changed up everything in what we did. Now, of course, the Browns do have a new defense coordinator, Jim Schwartz, who is a Super Bowl winning defense coordinator. So it's not surprising in any way that, he's going to throw looks at us that we have never actually seen, right? So here's pretty much the viral clip that went ahead and happened. So have Myles force quarterback to drive up in the pocket, have a walk rush with a eye on the quarterback's movement off Myles' pressure, rally to the football. Now, we're going to look at this clip in a second, but what he's doing here is actually messing with Teddy K, because Teddy K does not know what to do here. So what we're going to see here, and let me go ahead and grab it and bam, pause it real fast, is you can see right here, Myles Garrett is not lined up on the defensive line. He is actually lined up a tad bit back, which you can see right here. I don't know exactly what yard marker, but you see that line right there? All these guys, their hands and bodies are past this line, right? Myles Garrett is lined up 2 yards or 2 little lines here behind that line because he's lined up as a linebacker. So it's like, okay, what's going on here? Usually you're a pass rusher on the left to right hand side. Why are you lined up so far back? So what happens now is Teddy K's like, okay, what do I do here? Are they running a 3-man, pass rush, a 4-man pass rush, or a 5-man pass rush? Now, there is a thing in football called bluff blitzing, where you pretty much, you run at the quarterback, but then you drop back because you're not actually blitzing, you're bluffing it. And sometimes that happens, the quarterback throws the ball real quickly, and you get an interception. So, this look and this pressure that they did against us, honestly, Joe Burrow, Brian Callahan, according to Brian Callahan, we're going to talk about in a second when he says, completely threw us for a loop. So, as you can see right here, Myles Garrett goes back, he goes forth. He looks like he's a linebacker in coverage. Okay? Then once they hike the ball, what he does here is he goes to the left, then he cuts to the right, and then he runs straight for the quarterback. And he almost gets to the quarterback here. Teddy K is able to push him out. And in the end here, it results in a sack on Joe Burrow. So again, it's such a weird concept, such a weird different look that according to Brian Callahan, he's only done a couple times in his life. Here's what Brian Callahan had to say about the viral clip. You could tell he was feeling himself, Callahan said after the loss, and he can. He's allowed to do that. Going down a little bit in this article, he says, that was an unscouted look for us, Callahan said. They haven't shown that much. They moved Garrett around, but not in that manner. They have always moved Garrett around, but not in that manner. That's a tough matchup for Teddy K. We adjust our protections on the sidelines after that play and didn't have a problem with it again. But that one was tough. So again, that is exactly the correct answer I wanted to hear from our offense coordinator. It's not the fact that, yes, that was crazy and that was different. It's not what you do. Or it's not you getting beat in a game. If you're gonna get beat in a game. Listen, if you go against Myles Garrett, you go against T.J. Watt, you're gonna get beat. Play in, play out. It is what it is, right? But it's not you getting beat. It's how you adjust to getting beat on the play. And I like that. I do like that. That how he said that was, listen, it wasn't a problem the rest of the game, and yeah, we got beaten on one play, and it happens, right? Which is fine. That's going to happen in football. You're never going to be perfect in football. It's how you adjust to it. So I do really like that response right there. But he said his ability to move and change directions in a pass rush is ridiculous. He did a little bit of it a couple years back, so he's done some of it, Callahan said, in a single game that was probably the most, without really studying it, that I have ever seen. And again, this is a situation where you got to be ready for all types of looks and all types of pressures and all types of everything. I'm not saying you have to be perfect at any given day or any given game. And yes, there's going to be problems sometimes that you just aren't expecting or aren't realizing are going to happen. But at the same time, that's how you go, and that's how you are the greatest team. That's how you are the best team. Is you got to adapt to things. So again, like I said, it's interesting. But again, moving forward now, that better be something we scout and we're ready to go and ready to do. Yes, you might get it the first time you do it against us, but you know what? You're not going to get it again. I just read that. He did a little bit of it. Nope, just read that too. Here we go. Absolutely, Callahan said, when he's talking about if he should be a Hall of Famer or not. He said absolutely, Callahan said. When he's really on, he's unblockable. He's really going. And on a one-on-one spot, his size and agility, ability to play with the speed at that size and still have power, it's like him, Nick Bosa, and J.J. Watt. Those are the only guys that can play with that kind of speed, power, and suddenness. His pass rush moves, some of them, where he pulls off, are unbelievable. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about that. I don't like playing against him. He continues his little Euro step move that he does, where he goes like he's gonna take on the tight end and he hits the tackle and then accelerates and swipes. I don't know how you block that. And again, yes, listen, Myles Garrett is one of the best in the league for a reason. And yes, sadly, we have to take on him and TJ Watt twice a year, every single year. But it's really going to be how you adjust and how you kind of keep moving forward, because that offense on Sunday looked absolutely demoralized. And it wasn't just Myles Garrett that was the problem, obviously. Yes, he was a problem in a couple plays, and yes, he did get a sack on Joe Burrow. But again, you have to adjust. You have to keep going. And one mistake cannot cost you the game, like it pretty much, well, not one mistake cost the game, but it cannot, alter your game and completely destroy your offense like it did. And it seemed like everything we tried to do in that game did not work. We couldn't get the ball down the field. There was no chemistry. There was no nothing. And again, it is one game, and we're going to readjust and get better and keep working on getting better moving forward. But it sucked, man. It definitely sucked. And I will say, overall wise, Callahan, while yes, it's one play, I'm happy you spoke out about it and really, went through it. You're going to have to really, get back to work, and we can never have what happened week one the rest of this season. Week one was the most disgusting performance we did. I mean, obviously last year, week one, we threw, three interceptions, and we fumbled the ball one time, which was already bad. This was even worse than that, in my opinion. Because at least last year, when we threw three interceptions and fumbled it, at least at the end, we almost won the game with, Jamar Chase getting a touchdown. But at least we could move the ball. We couldn't even move the ball today. None of it. We couldn't do anything. So, it is what it is, but tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.